You know, we're just going to go ahead and forego the intro and dive right in. It is a weird day. It's a weird day. My allergies got me feeling a little puffy and I got almost no sleep. So, should make building interesting. We are back with a spot of Windrose, and we're going to continue building our beginner base in hopes that it will help some people out with just scaling, layout, immersion. You know, we do love those. So we're going to go ahead and pop on over and hop up out of our straw bed. Now, when we left off, we've been working on the exterior of the house here, and specifically we were just putting the base of stone on the tower, and then we ran out of rock. So we're going to go back to that and finish this off. Let's see, I was under. I've since picked up some new walls here, but we're still not using those. We are only using the stuff that you can get at the beginner islands. Here's the problem. There we go. Yeah, the set, so the default is at 30 degrees, and I find that to be very interesting. Because most people tend to build things either at 90s, 45s, and with the smallest being 15, I could see that being sort of like where you would begin. I would never have expected to begin, have the default angling be 90. Or not 90, 30. So let's go ahead and pop that there. Yeah, let's pop that there. And that will here. Now we've got our little bit of a foot down here. Now, I'm curious to see if it doesn't seem to really want to snap in, so there's not a whole lot. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot I can do about kind of these little gaps. They don't look bad though. I will say they don't. Gaps don't look too bad. And the rest of this is forming a little bit of a seawall, which is what we're going for. I'm going to make sure that this side matches this side. I need one more. Let's see. Sometimes you can cheese it if you get it to snap, then alter the rotation. That will help everything lock into place. So even if that isn't a perfect 90 degrees to the house, it does line up and snap with the footing, and that's really what we want it to be aligned to. That brought up right to the edge of our flooring. That actually worked out really, really well. Let's see. Are we good up there? I believe we are. So we can go ahead and take down this ramp. So now that we've got kind of the interior closed off, everything's walled off, everything's roofed off, we've got our access to the upstairs. Now we need to start looking at, where are we putting rooms, where are we putting windows? Because that is Also important that in natural light you do things like see. So we're going to let's pop this out, and we will fill. No. So now we'll actually align to the house. Bring that up. So now we're gonna have a window here. And I feel like right here is gonna end up being this is gonna end up being a little back porch. So we're gonna open that up, and let's go ahead and do we want to do will this even fit? Structure isn't stopping. I would not. Good heavens. The structure is exceptionally stubborn. And it also seems to be a really good fit. Now let's pop that there. Don't move. I don't like how it centers. Or rather doesn't center. Let's see if we can't. Now that we've got it down, it could just be an instance of this just having to use the thatched flooring. Let's see here. Let's see if we can't get this. Okay. That might have been part of the problem. Snapping mechanics in the game are a little wonky. Let's try turning off snapping. Bringing this over. That is awfully close. Do we like how it looks? I'm kind of leaning towards no. And this is a big part of just the building process, is the trial and error goes into it. Let's take turn all the bits off. Let's turn that off. Let's switch over to thatch. Bring that out, and then leaves us with this little gap, and we will fix that. Now from here, you know, we could use the pillars to bring down. The other thing is, you know, you could just as easily do like what we did with the warehouse. Wait a little bit longer on this until you get the large stick columns, and use that as the pilings. So you've got some options. You've certainly got some options that'll all look really good. From here we can simply, and then Nope. That. And then beams. Beams. There. Now we've got a back porch that is open. And with access to canopies. It really boils down to like which size canopy do you want. I'm actually rather partial to this one. I like the white sail cloth because it kind of does what canopies are supposed to do. The other ones are largely netting and holes. It's like that's not going to keep rain or sun off of you. It, you know, looks nifty. It looks fine, but it doesn't do anything. And then we will take a stool. It's my contemplating seat. So now we can just be like, I must observe the water and think. And if we want some light back here, we can just drop one of these. Although I hesitate to... I kind of don't like putting open torches on reed and thatch walls. So for this one, we may just... Yeah. Just, you know, something that's as far away as possible. Now here... this and put up a window. So we'll have a window here and a window here. Let's go ahead and toss those in. There we go. Now for cooking, we do end up getting, fairly early on, the cutting table. I need to get some ingots for that. Hop back to my other base. But let's take a look. For this, I kind of like the idea of doing half walls. We've got coming out to there. Do a half wall here, and then we can bring pillars and beams. Let's actually... take those out. We'll have this more of a countertop. I think that's how we're going to go. Countertop. Engage in a little countertoppery. And what I really like is actually taking like these large timber beams, give it sort of a butcher's block, but in the beginning of the game, you don't quite have access to that just yet, nor do we have the 45-degree beam. So you can get these in Tortuga pretty quickly and fairly inexpensively, but for the purposes of this exercise, we shan't. Let me pop back over to my other base I'll grab I'll grab some copper ingots. I forgot how useful they are in the beginning. Okay, bye. Hey, John. Where are we stashed? Here, I believe, somewhere. We'll grab 80 of them. Probably shouldn't need money more than that. Yep. Looks like I went a little far. You're not supposed to be out there. What are you doing? Now what we could do is take this. I actually have in my tavern in the other base that we just saw. Where we take the crate there, and then we take the cutting board here. And then we take flooring, and for right now we're just gonna do the thatch. Honestly, it looks really good as either the planks or the stone. Ooh, we could do the stone. So we've got a stone countertop. This is storage right here. But the cutting table now becomes a cutting board on the stone, and it doesn't look like it's going to go up in flames at any second. So we've got a cooktop there. Let's get... some lighting here. Now we can do to help kind of cut off the or separate the kitchen is take this and bring it across. So instead of separating at the floor, separate at the ceiling, and then from here, where's the 45. There we go. Create a doorway there and sort of a panel there. So now you've got a little galley kitchen happening in here. And you will eventually get decorations that you can toss in here to make it, look a little more interesting. They've got like herbals and such. Basically, food prep here, like a stand with herbs, basket of peppers, pile of dishes, things like that. We could toss a shelf on the wall. Let's make it a useful shelf. Compact, and come on, underneath it. Raise it up just a little bit, keep the line with the oven range hood, such as it is. So yeah, now we've got like an actual workable, usable space that, you know, you can start putting stuff in. And use it to display things. Now in here, because we've got this little galley kitchen, that is just begging for this to be turned into a sort of dinette. Let's bring this over. What we're going to do is we're going to make room for the double window here. So walls, let's board up this side and this side. And windows. Now, this is, whoa, that's wrong. This is not centered anymore. Because, well, it wasn't centered at all. So we're going to pull this out and recenter it. Now, do we like double table? Yeah, we do kind of like it. Now, you can't eat at the table. You can sit on the stools, but for something like this, it's almost better to sit on the stool and talk to whoever's cooking. And we shall pop a torch. Let's pop a torch on this beam here. Actually, kind of like that. So that'll light up in there. And honestly, we could do that here as well. So that's right at the bottom. Sir, could you move your jaunty feathered cap, please? There we go. That's not bad. That keeps things nice and lit. We come through here. Let's, I don't know if we want a legit door. Some nifty stuff coming in. I don't know if we want like the legit door going out to the back or if we want to do the arched. Let's just do an archway because there's no glass in any of this. There's no glass in any of this. Now this has definitely got to be... Whoa, why am I doing that? Let's see, walls... Yeah, this needs to be a window. Moral imperative. Yeah, even though we've got everything lit by torches, gotta let in that natural lighting. Now over here, what we can do is we've got space for such as the wardrobes. I actually do like the wardrobes. We can plop that there. Let's get that down. It's just a surface where you can put stuff like your, car keys. But what we are going to do is the same thing. We're not going to do the large window that we've got over there. We are going to bring that down to just a single wide window. Let's go ahead and put a door in. Now we've got the option. We love options. Got the option. We can put a window on each side here, or we could move this over one and throw in a double, like another double window. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Looks like a really derpy Snaggletooth happy face. Let's see what the windows look like. That's actually not... Wow. What is this nonsense? That's not bad. That's not bad. And we can put some of these awnings or canopies over it. So let's put that over there. Oh, and then for these, yes. Yes. Roofs. Because we've got roofery. That there. That there. That. That there. And now we can put there. There. And then beams. We put beams. I grab a short. I grab. Yeah. And this one, we'll put that in the middle. There we go. Yeah. So now we got some awnings. And we can continue that around there. Looking, that's huge. Let's grab the small one, please. Oh, we actually brought that one down just a little bit. Let's not do that. Come on, just delete the thing I'm looking at, please. Thank you. There we go. So I started to put the beam in there. I'm like, wait a second, that's going through the window. here, we'll do the same thing. Beam and beam. Excellent. Now, we have the option, do we put do we put windows in here? It doesn't look bad. Let's see here. Let's put the stone walls back. Let's actually make sure that I'm pointed north. Alright, so that is that one. Let's set this actually north. Windows. Oh, we already had one here. Let's maybe... I don't want to put it here. Let's cover up these walls. Ooh, actually, let's just do a single one. There we go. And we'll do one window here, because that's such tight quarters. Then we will do the same thing here. Oh, but let's take this. Let's make this the double. Yeah. Ooh, which... direction... It is kind of like in the middle. Yeah, that's good enough. Works. And now we gotta do what we always do. Gotta go out and check. Oh, that looks good. Looks good. That looks good. Looks like somebody shot holes through the tower. That was pretty good. I really like the three-sectioned window. It looks a little more intentional, a little less like somebody just blew a hole through the thing. I may go up and take the large window out and put two small windows in side by side. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. And that'll actually balance things out a little bit better anyway. Yeah, that looks like that fits. I think that's going to look a lot better because, like, the whole idea is this is a big, heavy stone tower. You want about as much weight-bearing strength as you can get, even at the top where it's really the lightest. Lightest does not equate to light. Plus, this lets you look right down at the wharf. We do like being able to look down right at the wharf. Now let's take a look at the very dark upper level here. We need a bedroom, so this area here is going to be our bedroom. Let us actually go ahead and make it daytime. Let's see. What am I doing? Oh, that's right. That's the overhang. We put on considerable overhang. Which isn't the worst, because, you know, you're looking down a lot. So let's put in the window there. Let's put in let's actually see what we got here. I kind of want to make this a front porch. Just a small front porch. Let's grab thatch, and we will just bring this around thusly. I don't know, what are we thinking? What if we made it rounder? Boom. Boom. Good, never. go pillars and beams. That sets everything up to there. And now we're going to need some support. Now we're going to need some support beams. Let's actually take that all the way down to the sand. This would come down right into the doorway, and I don't like that, so we're not going to do that. Of course, we can also get rid of these awnings, because there's a porch over top of them. Or a deck, rather. The deck is definitely doing more than the awnings are. Let's actually get rid of... We don't need this piece here. And we'll put them there. So a lot of times, if you can't get them to connect, like you're doing something at a 45-degree angle, attach one to one side, one to the other, and they'll clip into each other. And it, for repeated patterns like stone, twigs, sticks, thatch, things like that, it'll generally disappear into each other. It's the same trick we actually used on the door of our warehouse. It's literally the same trick. So now we can take our beams, that down, bring that down, and that up. Yeah, anytime you've got something that's an overhang, if you want it to look natural, just kind of ask yourself what's holding it there. And that will, just answering that will go a long way towards kind of making things look normal. And it's like, does it look like it's being held up by the power of magic and positive thinking, or, you know, is this a thing? Alright, let's get our walls. Now for these, we were using the yellow patch. And so you know what? We're going to scooch this over by one. If we have 45s in the bottom here. That's 26s. Okay. No, that's 45. Weird. My brain is playing tricks on me. That there, across. Now for that little area up there, let's actually make a little ventilation. Ventilation's important. Make it well ventilated. Airflow. Prevent mold and mildew from building up. Rein this in. I suppose we could do that as an accent wall. Do the millennial accent wall. And then we will take, just so that we can see what the hell we're doing. We have to lighten up the area. Now, very quickly, you will get access to the shelled bed, which is actually kind of nice, and it is kind of the first upgraded comfort level thing. So we need 5 Triton shells. Of course, now would be the time that I struggle to find them. The comedic timing of many games is kind of unparalleled in any other media, where it's just you're going about your business and the game decides to make you look like a fool. So, let's see. My spot to put this would actually be over here. It's right here, the simple bed with headboard. Plonk that down right there. And see, because it's got the shells on the headboard, it increases our comfort level, and our comfort level is actually up to a pretty respectable 9. Now, what we can do is also take a look at some of the other decorations. And don't forget, you know, one of each of these, plus your trophies. You know, you get the dishes fairly early. You get the stand with herbs fairly early. A lot of these are definitely later in the game, but yeah, we can drop down a nightstand, maybe. Yeah, we got space. Now, let's make sure that this doesn't... Okay, this does not mess with our ability to lay down. Sometimes it will. You gotta kind of watch out. You gotta kind of watch out for that. So we put that there. Now, we do have a shelf downstairs, but we can put... you know what? Let's put a poop bucket. Just so we're not having to hang cheeks out the window and risk defiling our porch. Although, this is coming off the kitchen, so yeah, it would just drop. Either way, we don't want that. Let's put a shaving bowl. Actually, a shaving bowl would work better on a shelf, so let's put a shelf over here. Bowl. Let's put a mug. Let's put the mug down here. Turn the handle towards the bed. And it's those little details, like if you were laying in the bed and you needed the mug, the handle would be facing towards you. So that's, yeah. Little things like that. Now, unfortunately, the torches kind of wash everything in an amber glow. So everything just turns a shade of yellow. But it's the little things like that that kind of help with making stuff look right. Now, over here, what we can do... I'm flinching. I think someone beat me. What we can do is take either storage crates or... We can take the same principle with the nightstand. Take these little things here. We're going to set this down. How is that? That there, and then we're going to set the other one directly on top of it. Now we go into storage. Come on. You can fit. You can't fit. Definitely can't fit. Okay. I had a thought. You know what, the theory was sound. What we can do is we can take a couple of crates and have and then run out of resources. Yeet. We can take a couple of crates and stack them up in the corner. Basically treat them like a closet. What did I put? It's the weaponsmith. That's not really... It wasn't here. Ah, I knew it. I knew it. Just get 20 nails. And actually a better source of nails in the early game is find those shipwrecks that are washed up on the shore. Break those down. That's just free nails. Free nails, free wood. And you don't use wood quite as much in the beginning, but you definitely will use nails. And you know what? Bronze is a precious commodity. And what you can do is you can then just take a little bit of signage, you know, and set it up here so you got clothes in the top, weapons in the bottom, things like that. Or not. You know, the world is your oyster. Just be careful because you can shoot the pearls as ammunition. I'm thinking. This is potentially a thing. Okay. Let's try this. No! Just delete the one I'm looking at, not the one behind it. Brilliance is overshined by my ineptitude. There we go. So we put the storage first. Always put your items down first, then build the walls around it. Walls will go through items. Items tend not to want to go through walls. Yeah. Boom. I like it. We're keeping it. And for right here, I don't really have to do a whole lot, I don't think. Just set that there. I don't think we need to do anything with this. You know what, that works. That works. I like it. And it keeps the room interesting. And remember, that's kind of the name of the game, is just keep stuff interesting. Break up the lines, don't make perfect cubes for stuff. So now we've got a walk-in closet kind of deal. Not a walk-in closet, but we've got a built-in closet. Let's see. What's our window situation looking like over here? Not bad. It's not amazing. But we can definitely put in a window right there. It's not the worst spot. And actually, that'll blend right up into that roof line. It's not bad, actually. It's not bad. If you really want to talk to somebody, just go outside here. Let's go ahead and make this one a door, because this is, I don't know, front, I guess. But we are out of, as you see, it already looks just way more interesting. A little off balance. I think I need to move this one over. Yeah, that's driving me nuts. If I don't do it now, I'm going to forget it. I'm absolutely going to forget it. Let's... Pretty sure I got rid of that. Yeah, and this might actually solve the problem of this front looking too cluttered. Now we just bring that down. That doesn't look anywhere near as cluttered, and it still gives the appearance of support. And then once you get the 45-degree angled beams, that's going to look even better. Yeah, I like that. Actually, we can go ahead and get rid of this, because we do have our bed inside. So we will do that. Now we've got 69 plant fiber. Hey. Let's see, I'm not quite as worried about a window here. Let's see what it will look like. So let's... No... Let's fix our walls here, because I absolutely punched out one that I didn't want to. Bring that down. We'll do 2 single windows right here. I think that will look a little bit better. Let's see, down. Down is the direction I want to go. Oh, and that lines up right over top of those. That's actually not too bad. Oh, we need to put, yeah, we need to put like an awning or something over, canopy over the door up here. There's the structures in steel. We're out of the way. There we go. Now we've got a view of the beach. And honestly, this coastline here looks really cool. This is always enjoyed because it's got little bits that stick out and go in, and it's fun, interesting. Now, by putting a tower here, we actually have like 3 more rooms that are very small. One has a hole in the floor, watch your step. But these could easily be transformed into libraries, studies, a workspace. You know, you can put your workbench in here instead of one of the other outbuildings. You throw the alchemy table in there. I don't even know which floor I'm on. Maybe a sign that tells you which floor you're on, you know. One of the things that is nice is having a window that's visible from the bed, so you can see kind of what the state of the day is. Otherwise you're just sitting in here and you're like, I don't even know when, I don't know what time it is. What is it, day, is it night, what day is it? It's like when you take a nap and you wake up at 7 o'clock and it's kind of hazy outside. You don't know if it's 7 a.m. or p.m. Oh, that's beautiful. We do like a nice easterly window. Face to view. See all the cool stuff. Okay. So that is pretty much how I would build this. Now, we do also have this over here that we can draw out. Actually, no, let's beam our corners. Because safety first, and there are some rather hefty drops. Going off that side. Beam up the center of each. So that gives us an interesting house that breaks up the lines, changes out the angles of the roof line, gives us a tower with a signal fire. Ooh boy, that sticks out. It's always good to look around during the day. Like, I would not have realized those had stuck out so far. So I'd fix those. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now look at your building daytime, look at your building at nighttime. You can see it. There we go. Oh, that's definitely better situated. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's that's much better. You know, so yeah, take a look at everything, daytime, nighttime, and all that. And really, what you're looking for is, you know, break up the lines, make it interesting, add different angles, add things that kind of stick out or stick in a little bit. Avoid cubism, which I know is sometimes tricky. Avoid, you know, repeating textures. Break up the repeating textures a little bit. You know, with different colors, different lines. You know, that's the trick. And then eventually you can, you know, when you get access to things like the flags, you just be like, I have this flag. Plymouth is the land for Spain. Like, look, if you don't have a flag, then you know you don't get to have a country. Sorry, those are the rules. This is our land. Do you have a flag? Sorry. Now, what I'd kind of like to do next, we've got these over here. I kind of want to bring this out here. And I want to add a round hut. I want to add the alchemy hut right here. You know, and since this is a straight line right through here, I want to break that up with something in the way so that you can't just like see all the way through the tree line. Because again, that's, yeah, something we touched on last time. Having an just a massive uninterrupted view is boring. So we're actually going to go. Actually, you know what? No, that's fine. Let's see. Stairs. I think the kind of trick I'm running into, not the trick I'm running into, the struggle I'm running into is stairs. So that's one. Of course, that's not. Yeah. Ah. Okay. We'll start right there. Let's take a look at make sure that everything is set up to that, and we're going to take let's make these 30-degree shifts. that's not quite. A, it's not quite big enough. B, I'm running out of plant fibers. We need more plant fibers. Oh, let me run back to the base and grab my lawnmower. This will be helpful. Enjoy.
The body endures more than we think.
I don't need to know about your fetishes there, Doc. Yeah, grab Soul Eater. I was going to grab the Halberd, but I think Soul Eater will probably work better. For lawn mowing. Really?
You have no chance.
There. Let's grab that. And lawn mowing time. Honestly, one of the best places to really go swatting at plant fibers is in the foothills, because the large bushes also drop wood, and it's really convenient. But this is beginner guide, so we're going beginner. Yeah, this definitely works a little bit better just from the standpoint of you get 5 swings, whereas the halberd only gives you 3. So you get a lot more plant fibers per mowing trip. There we go, 200 gold. Got us a little further. We can. Let's start with a flat front, because that is going to actually give us the door. I'm going to bring this across flat as well. That way the side will line up. And we get over here. So it's going to be a little bit of an oval, ovular. Oh, we could bring this just around. There. Something over here. There we go. I'll just fill this in. Lovely. And this. Get rid of it. Good. And then stars. Let's take a look at cruise. Oh, let's not do that. Now we're going to kind of do the same thing here that we did over on this one with we're going to do the brown thatch on the bottom and the green thatch on top. What's going to make this one more interesting is with the frame here in brown, I'm going to treat it more like this one. So the bottom will be brown, and right here where it's yellow will be the green. I think that's going to lend itself just a little bit nicer. And that was the flat. I'll bring this. I think that's going to look better. I'm wondering. Do we want to bring it all the way up to 4 before we start roofing it? Yeah, because that'll make it look a little bit more balanced. It's already going to be raised up off the ground, so this will make it look less squished. You definitely don't want to squish your hut. Definitely going to look a lot less claustrophobic when I put in the windows. So to that end, I'm actually going to go ahead and do that now, at least right here. Ooh, actually, no. That's wrong. We're going to put the windows right here. There we go. And then we can put another couple. No, how do I do that? How do I do anything anymore? Okay. Let's get... that there. Oop. And we're going to put this here. Everything else is going to be triangular. Other triangular. And fill. Again, right at the very end of that row. I thought I had enough. I was wrong. You know what? I said that the foothills were better. Let's make use of that. That's gonna look cool. I think. I don't know. I think that's gonna look cool. Let's fast travel to the foothills. Let's grab our lawnmower. Excuse me, John. Let's go ahead and grab something to eat, just in case we get jumped. We're definitely doing better than when we started out in this area, but it's still a bit dangerous. Especially with the goats. Truffle out. Your truffle's already doing his work. Good job, Truffle. The grab distance needs to be just a little bit bigger. Oh god, Truffle, you scared the hell out of me. You're a good boy. So, the wood, there's been a lot of question about it, and as it turns out, the wood does grow back, the trees do grow back very slowly, because they're trees. It's probably the slowest thing to respawn, but that's largely because it'll respawn as a sapling, and then it has to grow into a tree. But like all of these saplings over here, these are trees I cut down. So they will grow back just very slowly. And the trees that you get from seeds, like the ficus and the palm, those are for decorations. So something to be advised. Get also get the wolves and the goats to fight each other. Of course, you can throw truffle into the mix and really create some chaos. Oh, I'm out of inventory space. How did that happen? Oh, that's how. I chopped down a lot of stuff, including but not limited to pirates. Let's see this one before. And we'll drop food off. Everything else I've got is building supplies. I'm not even going to worry about the stuff that I dropped back there. Now I shall come back. And boop. Now this should help us. I think seal all this in. We're going to take a look and see what this looks like from the outside. Oh, bad at all. I'm honestly more than a little impressed. Now from... No, don't do that. Now from here, we can bring it up one more time. Actually, we can start from there. I think we need... set this to 30. No, that's not looking right. This is the problem, is when you start getting up to kind of the end of the curved shape. Eventually things just kind of start bumping into each other. all sorts of weird ways. It's actually kind of a cool design. What does that look like from the outside? Yeah, no, that's looking very conical. There's a weird stick sticking out, but I guess that's what sticks do. Let's go ahead and bring back the sun. Make sure the gods are not angry with us. Up. Sit down again. Behold the sun. Let's get our triangulars out. And now from here, it's looking like our best chance to get something that looks right is... Looks like it might be actually this roof corner. Maybe? No. Here's my recommendation. Maybe don't do conical roofs. This is just all sorts of a mess. So we're going to do the good old-fashioned cheaty face method of building a ramp to get up to the top. That's where I was making the mistake. I wasn't carrying up the flat oval, or the flat bit up the side. That part's important. I think once we get up this high, we could just is easily just put a flooring piece. Yes, pull up. It's wearing a hat. Oh, you know, it would look really good there. Windrose. Now, this is not going to be a window that you get at the start. This is going to be the window that I was talking about when we were looking at these down here. But these make for a great cupola style top. So once you get access to this, you can always come back and add this to it, and that will give a little bit more interesting in here. Now, yeah, and honestly, how often do you stand inside your hut and look up? You know, it's not a thing people do. So we're going to, because yes we are, first add light. Now we can bring in rafting. How come we got no clay pot? Got no pot. We need pot. Bet we don't have any. Definitely don't have any clay there. Well, imagine we don't have any clay here. Oh, we do. We just need one or two. No, don't do that. There we go. Drop that down right there. Now I don't like putting this stove in here, largely because the stove looks very heavy and has fire in it. And those are thatched floorings, and it's too much. But it is not too much for over here. So if we were to... No, stop it. If we were to take that out and go back here, extending this out, we can put the alchemy stove in here. Now, copper pot. Somebody get the Goonies. Chester copper pot. When you know, and that doesn't, you know, it's not a thing. Oh my God. It's not a thing that really matters in the game itself. because as long as your upgrades, as long as your workshop upgrades exist within the same bonfire, they work. So putting the cooking oven here, you know, is not going to have any effect negatively on the alchemy table. You know, it'll still just be right there. Now, honestly, what I would like to do is, if I build a tavern, I would put this and the cooking fire both in the tavern. But I ain't there yet. But now we've got our alchemy workshop. And it will now build more stuff. And what we can do is, excuse me, we can zazz this up just a little bit with storage. One of the things I like doing is taking the whatever storage is going to, or whatever ingredients are going to go to a workshop, I try to kind of put it there. So alchemy ingredients will specifically go in here. Set it down there. So stuff like the misty orchid, the boar tusks, you know, things like that, that would go in here along with clay bottles. Although honestly, clay bottles, you can set them up right there, and then from here you can make your alchemical base. And then from here, like, so you can actually leave your bottles, you don't have to pull them out until you've made the final product of healing potions or elixirs or tonics and what have you. Now, because we will eventually put Rosalinda to work in here, let's give her a place to sleep. Once you get Rosalinda you get in Tortuga, go to the alchemy table, you go to worker, and there she is, Rosalinda Mercer. She doubles your clay bottle production and has a 30% chance of crafting an extra elixir. Not a healing potion, but elixir. So like the elixir of cruelty, the elixir of precision, things like that. There's a 30% chance of getting an extra one. And when you assign her, she will pop in here and promptly walk out and walk around, and now you've got a little extra life in your base. Now, the fun thing about all of these characters is that they'll go to each of the workstations and putter. So, witness Rosalinda putter. She's not making anything. She's just providing life to the base. If you have seats, if you have seating in different spots, so we can... Nope. Now, when you get a bench, the bench up here against the wall, boop, they will sit down and kind of just chill with each other. So it's a fun thing that they added. That's it does nothing except provide immersion, which is kind of one of the things that a lot of these games lack. Is it, you know, you end up with a dead, lifeless world, and it's unpleasant. So that is our alchemist hut. So I think that is going to go ahead and do it for now. I'm going to call it here, finish the finish the house. I finished the I'll get the word out. finished the house, did the alchemy hut, so anything that we do kind of from here on out is going to be larger stuff. So we'd be looking at things like a tavern, the wharf. You know, there's actually some good stuff that you can do here at the dock that really makes it look a lot more lively and a lot more interesting. So I think what we're going to do is do that on Monday, possibly. Or I may do it off stream and just do it as a recording. But yeah, this is getting that starter base up and running. And it is starting to look the part. Actually, I've got... The only reason I don't want to bring in Black Axel is... Or Axel Black, I don't know. Laxel. The only reason I don't want to bring him in just yet is because he's the cook. And he, kind of ends up taking over your house. Actually, yeah, let's take this, put that in here. Put this in here. Let's put another bed. In here. We can bring this worker in. This is Jasper Crow. He's a little weird, but kind of, you know, watch out for him. He's an odd fella. But yeah, they'll go walking around. Since we've got the space now, we've got people. We can bring in Dr. Skelton. And we can bring in John. John is somebody that you end up meeting on the travels. He didn't give you anything the way Dr. Gallen does, but yeah, it brings life to the area, and that's ultimately what we want. So yeah, until next time, keep an eye out for more videos going up, which will really kind of be a shortened version of all this, but we're building that base. Get a picture of it. And everything's starting to get bigger. So until next time, we'll check in again. Take care of yourselves, check in on friends and family, stay safe, stay cool, stay warm, stay hydrated, and above all, stay dapper. We'll catch you next time.
I mean the kind of music men hum or whistle when they feel on top of the world. And gentlemen, one of the many things that give you that tip-top feeling is the pleasure of being well dressed.